Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. I've not disappeared. I've not managed to publish a video since last Saturday, and because I've been very busy working. I've got a very big translation project on theatre equipment, so I've been very busy looking up cross-reference and terms on winches and hoists and all sorts of curtains and you name it. Big job. So in the meantime, as I was working on a big job, I did some odds and ends here on my desk, because I'm actually working over there on the computer table. The two locomotives have been sitting here since last week when you last saw them, and I've not done absolutely anything on them. And I actually began building a water tower. Now you'll see why another identical water tower, because that's the water tower there. You know that water tower, the one from Chapelon-Crosty. So, as maybe you might remember from the channel, months ago, I got quite a lot of equipment, bits and pieces, railway kits from a friend in Trieste, and he had a lot of things from a Hachette collection. So one of these things you get at the newspaper shop, and you build your own layout and whatever. And I sold various wagons, various odds and ends, coaches on Vinted to finance other stuff. And now I've got this box of various building kits and so on and so forth. There's also rails, there's various things. I'm keeping the rails because they're good rails. And so there was, some things are incomplete, there are no instructions, or the instructions are actually maybe in all the various brochures that came with it, which I've not even archived, catalogued anything, and what I'm planning to do is to sell this stuff. But the main idea is to sell things where you don't really know if you've got instructions. It's not really convenient for the buyer. So I thought, okay, I'll build it. What I can, what is complete. And I noticed that there was a complete kit for a water tower, which is actually a clone of a Fowler water tower. But why do I say a clone? Because in the kit, now I didn't film this because I hadn't really planned to film it. I said I'll just build it and I'll put it out for sale. And I used my own water tower as a model, because they gave me on the sprues the 4 different parts for the trestles, you can see here, but they also gave me 2 platforms like that, which make absolutely no sense, and they didn't give me this white pipe. This white downpipe was not there, so I made a white downpipe myself using a piece of the tube of a Bic pen, of an old Bic pen. It was finished. And I assembled everything. The railings are one piece. You have to be very careful in gluing them in, one by one, putting maybe 2 or 3 at a time using Tamiya cement. And of course I painted it. You've seen me painting that one over there with some dark brown to make it look less plasticky, because this is pretty plasticky, kind of chocolate coloured plastic. And this way I'm actually going to put the thing for sale complete. And I've also made it a base, one of my bases with this non-slip material like that. And because if I put the base, I can actually fit the ladders, and that way it'll get sold, ready, plug and play for a person to put it on their layout, you see, and that way I can glue it on, do a nice job, and use whatever it is. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do with this. And why was I saying, of course, it's a clone, a Fowler clone, because, and I don't know if maybe they got Fowler to make the parts, to make it, because this here, compared to some of the other models, I can actually show you some of these things. This is really high quality compared to some of the other kits. There are some very good platforms that I think are clones of Fowler, and I'm planning to build the platforms. They're too big for my layout, so I'm going to build them and sell them. I'll see how this goes. This one here I decided to paint it to make it really nice and make something that a modeler can buy and just install directly on his layout. Maybe do some weathering, some bushes, put some fences around here, or do whatever they want with it. And the interesting thing is that why clone? Because, for example, the tank here, well, the tank is one piece and the roof is another piece, you can see. In this case here, if you look carefully, there's a line between the three elements, 1, 2, and 3. If you look inside, you'll see that the tank was actually built in 3 sections, which I glued together. And the other thing that you see that these parts here have just been copied or whatever, it doesn't really clip well on the down here. It doesn't clip flat onto the platform as on the original Fowler, right? So I'm going to glue this in place with glue and glaze, not with Tamiya cement, because I don't want to spoil the paint. And it was made like this in 3 parts, in 3 cylindrical sections, because it had to fit in a flat pack. And this is the actual blister pack that it came in. There you go. So there was 1, 2, and 3 plus roof. So very interesting. So I wonder if this was built by Fowler on behalf of Hachette, if they just got some Chinese company to clone it, meaning to make a cast. It would make no sense. Or more likely, Fowler production moved to China, they modified some things, or maybe Fowler itself in later versions of this kit. The tank is actually made in 3 parts, because this is quite a complicated engineered component part. So I'd like to find this out, because you can see that this is in 3 parts, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and not 1 part like that one over there, 1 part with a roof. So very, very interesting. The fact that they gave me 2 platforms for some reason also doesn't make much sense. But and of course this here has to be glued inside there like that. So this is absolutely identical. I mean, I've checked dimensions and everything. It's identical, absolutely the same. Of course, I built this one from scratch. This one here I bought it already assembled, because I bought it unpainted, and I just had to. It was missing the ladders, this one here, but I had got the two ladders, which were the 2 ladders for this in a job lot of bits and pieces that I bought for the layout. So that was quite an interesting project, which I hadn't really planned to include in the videos, but considering I've been too busy to do other things and to carry on with other things, I decided to show you this. So let me know if you've ever built one of these, if you've ever built the actual Hachette Fowler clone water tower, which honestly, it's absolutely the same. Look at that. It's identical. Of course, I painted this with silver paint, because it was just grey. Vallejo silver paint is fantastic. And so that's that. Of course, here I painted the brown, some leather brown with a spot of black inside. It's practically the same shade. And where we see some of the brown, the original brown, shining through, like there, that nearly looks like rust marks, see? That's good. It's a very good colour, because it allows you to maybe cover any imprecisions, and any imprecisions will actually make it look there like there. You can see there's a spot there where you can see the brown, chocolate brown, as like a rust spot. So let me know what you think about this project. I should touch up this here as well, but this is my one. Didn't paint that much. But see, that's original chocolate brown. That looks like rust. I actually have some paint here. I could give it another coat if I'm feeling like it. So This is my one that I'm keeping, and this is the one that's going to get sold. So let me know what you think about this water tower, and if you've ever built one. And of course, if you enjoy the videos, give them a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and that's that, the usual things. I always like reading your comments. Cheerio, and see you next time. And tomorrow, hopefully in daylight tomorrow, I have to mix the right shade of Isabella brown for the new steps, which in the meantime are extremely solid because they've been setting for over a week. Cheerio, and see you next time. And it's late. Good night.